echoes turn to lies.
They sold us easy comfort and a blindfold for our eye. Said to trust the hand that feeds you. Don't you dare to ask it why. But I hunger for the real thing.
Is a fire you can't deny.
It's starting to shake now. Can you feel it in your bones? We will not be fools again. We will rise up from the dust, searching for the truth and justice, forging unity from trust.
Every color, every creed now, tired of a great divide. We're looking for the facts, not fiction, with our conscience as our guide. They built their thrones on silence, but the quiet's over now.
We will not be fools again. We will rise up from the dust, searching for the truth and justice, forging unity from trust.
Let them hear the voices, a million strong and clear. The age of make-believe is over. The reckoning is here. We will not be fools. We will rise for justice and for truth. We will not be fools.
Brian is innocent. Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Fair game for the public to hear. And boy, is the public here to listen. And I guess if you want to say, play the game. If you know, you know. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Phoenix, your host today. And this is Phoenix Talks, where our community singly come together to find the truth. If you haven't noticed, you got a few options for some new emojis today. Enjoy them as a member. I appreciate every single one of you. Tell me which faceplant emoji that you like the best. Faceplant 1, or let me see if I can do this. Oh, hold on a minute. It says faceplant 2. Face 1 or face 2. If you have those emojis, let me know which one you enjoy the best. I don't know why it's not letting me do 2. Maybe I have to give it another name. Let me name it KS Jensen Art. KS Jensen. Let's see if that one works. Let me just do KJS. It's too long for that. Let's see. Can everybody see 1 or option 2? I like option 2. I should throw it up here. See if it'll let you. Which one do you guys like? Members? Y'all are hilarious. This is so funny. Peony, you are hilarious. Dina, you are a new member. Good job. Congratulations. Welcome in. Peony says, flock that. I was having trouble downloading emojis, then noticed I was a Tin Pan member. I love it. And then you say, Thursday I will join Golden and have Golden Flockers and have capability of downloading. Too funny. Rebecca, welcome in. Artsy Gal, welcome in. Donna Rosa, Brenda Faye, make Chevy Square again. Susie Little BB, hey babe. Make Chevy Square. Hi everyone. I love the fireballs. Timeless Mercury, welcome in. Lulu Bell, welcome in. Everybody, welcome in. Hola, amigos, amigas. Is it senoritas? Hey, girl, finally caught your live over here. Hey, Mandy Jo, welcome in. Did you miss anything good? Not yet, Tabby. Not yet. 1983 was a good year. I don't see him. You don't see him? Dang, I don't know. You should be able to see him. I saved them, and they look fine on my side. I wonder if it just didn't load up. Do you not even see the new faceplant? That's a bummer because one of those are so cute. Well, you guys try those. I'm going to get into the stream, but let me ask you this question real quick. If you saw a random duck in public, okay, if you saw a random duck in public, would you A, keep walking, B, pick it up, or C, start investigating immediately? Like, what the hell is this? If you saw a random duck out in the public, out on your vehicle, out at a bar, on an airplane, in a restaurant, what in the world? What would you do? Because be honest, have you ever taken something random that you found? One word, ducks are cute. It's not suspicious or chaotic. If you found one outside the courthouse, would you laugh or look around? It's harmless fun. Or is it something deeper? We're going to take a deep dive in today, and we're going to take a look at something in regards to the Idaho 4 that sparked our interest in the Idaho 4 case from one of the family members that has been publicly sharing these little mini tiny ducks. You know, sometimes they say if you find some things in public, you shouldn't touch them, like a random note on your car. It could have some substance on it, something of that nature. But, you know, okay, let's just say out of all things you could use to send a message, you picked a duck. It's not a sign or a letter, not a protest chant. It's a duck. But here's the thing. That's exactly why something like this would work. Or is this a goose chase? Nobody expects it. And when something doesn't make sense, your brain starts to lock in. Seriously. Think about it for a minute. I asked this question on my private members only this morning, and this is what we've got out of it. Some interesting things going on. So welcome in every single one of you. I love it. Hi, Make Chevy Square again. Hello, every single one of you that's come in. If you've never been on my talk, my channel, my podcast, you are going to be in for a treat. I am giving you facts. We come here together to find the truth. If you are scrolling to troll, keep scrolling. Hi, Dina. You're super late. You're fine. Yeah, you found the emojis. Fast. Okay, so which one do you like the best? There's a couple of faceplant, and then there's one labeled KSJ for KSJ. If you know, you know. Attach a note and leave it for the next person. Keep walking. I have a family of ducks that come in my pond. I just ignore them. Tabby, you're funny. I'd leave it. I'd be easy. Yeah, they paint rocks and yeah, I've seen that too. We've done that. And if you're just coming in, swipe down, hit the thumbs up, swipe back up. You're not going to miss anything. I'm about to begin, but welcome everyone in. This is Truther Tuesday, Triumphant Tuesday. It's a Phoenix Fireball live stream, and you know the deal. So just out there leaving her DNA everywhere on the damn ducks. Trace DNA. Isn't that wild? I mean, what is your first thought when it comes to mind? What would you use instead of a duck? Would you use a note like Marissa says, bananas, gloves, shoes, glow sticks? I mean, what would you literally use if you did something like this? If you did, I'm just saying, some people leave rocks. I've seen that. And in all fun aside, let's just like change the tone here a little bit, because now we're talking about a mother that's involved in a unfortunate event that happened in Moscow in November of 2022. And she lost her daughter, her second daughter. I'm sorry, her third daughter. Wait, hold on a minute. The father lost his third daughter. I believe that's right. A third daughter, because you've got Sam, you've got Olivia, then you have Kaylee. So the father has lost the third daughter. The stepmother has lost a stepchild. And, you know, it hits home when you're talking about somebody that has lost a loved one in a murder crime scene house that they called home. Their daughter called this place home. That is where she resided. That is where her, things are, her belongings are. Now, these ducks aren't funny anymore to me. They're questions. Why here? Why now? Why are they putting them there? And if the family is doing this, that's emotion. It might be frustration. That's, we don't feel heard. It's a symbol, in my opinion. And if you were convinced someone innocent was locked up, how far would you go to gain attention on this subject? How far would you go? Travel around the country, leaving all these ducks at bars, locations on airplanes. How far would you go to hear her, to be heard? I mean, personally, I did interviews. I wrote letters. My voice was heard. Let's just say that much. My voice was heard. And I had to jump over hurdles in my situation. But let me say this, leaving these little ducks all around communities that you go to, Italian restaurants, we started in our community, started thinking about all these little Jeep, the Jeep ducks. And duck in my world means I have a Jeep. Okay. I kept thinking, what else does the duck mean? Or is this just a wild goose chase? I don't know. So let's talk strategy, since everyone loves a good twist, a good story. Is this a distraction or is this strategy? Because this is where it gets low-key genius. All right? I'm talking about the act. Strategy. This is the good part. Imagine ducks showing up outside a courthouse, near media vans, around a crime scene, near police buildings. That's not random. That's targeted messaging. But because this person has a public-facing Facebook page, they're not leaving it at courtrooms. They're not leaving it at buildings or around a crime scene. That's not targeted messaging, but it's almost saying as if we're not yelling, but we're making sure you see this. Different colors. Does that mean connotations? Does the duck quack? No, the duck. They're just little ducks they're leaving everywhere. Everywhere they go, every post that they're making lately is a picture of these ducks. You see them in, it looks like this is like at a jewelry store, looking in the mirror, which is weird. I mean, I don't know. It's like a puzzle. A puzzle, is it a distraction away from the documents, away from the case, away from the facts? Or is this some hidden message that something's not right here? Like, how would you send a message? Would you find a billboard, rent billboards, put them up around your local area? I mean, what would you do? Is it for views? Is this just pure, hey, pay attention to us, don't pay attention over there? Is this the same thing that I said, hey, don't look over there, look over here? We're not talking just like one duck or something funny, or we're not talking comedy here. We're talking planned duck sightings, duck leaving ducks. And I kept thinking, what in the world does this mean? So, of course, headed over to ChatGPT. Somebody sent me some information, and I'm going to share what they found that is wild, that almost confirms people do it. Yep, people do it on cruise ships. People leave random rocks and hearts of love and stuff like this. But we're talking, is it strategic or is this just odd? You know, I mean, let me ask you, just hearing about this, and if this is the first time you're hearing about this, what do you think about all this? They could do so much more. Fireballs, DID University create. Oh, that's a good one. Wheatley American vodka. This is a duck that they left by vodka. And there was another duck that they left by 3 wine bottles. 3, like number 3, right? 2 wine bottles. I apologize. There are 2 wine bottles. It looks like more because there is a mirror there. And the name of the wine is called Doghouse something Merlot. It's not Menage a Trois. It's not, by the way, I used to be married to a wine rep, and I'll tell you, that's not some popular, just random wine. So I'm wondering why they're leaving these ducks. They're talking about big boy, little duck. This was just on the 17th. This is Bob's Big Boy. If you are from California, grew up there, or know, this is, it's not Fat Boy. It's Bob's Big Boy originally. And let me grab this one so that you see this one too. So this stream is going to be a little different today. We're just diving in for 1 second, taking a break from all these documents. This is, I don't know if it's, this to me is Big Boy, okay, Bob's Big Boy. But they comment and they say, big boy, little duck. Little duck. They put the duck on the big boy, which I'll show you this one. This is really odd. And maybe they're just having fun. I don't know. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm always looking at both sides to everything. And then the side of the truth, obviously. And this is pure evidence that either they're sharing frustration in public, maybe trying to gain attention. So let's play best place to drop a duck. I'll start inside a law library, on a police desk, or in a reporter's car bag. Your turn. Where would you leave a duck? Where's the best place to drop a duck? Go. Duck, duck, go. Did the wine say doghouse on the labels? The wine, in fact, says doghouse. Doghouse on the labels. Yeah, Shawnee's big boy too. Yep. That could possibly be accurate. Little Jesus figures are going around. I've seen those, the little tiny ones. People who drive Jeeps have ducks. Okay. True. Are they sending a message? Are they sending a message? Are they sending a message to somebody who drove a Jeep? Perhaps. I mean, when it comes to my mind, I'm thinking, to gain attention, sometimes you have to go the least traveled route. And knowing that they have, let me just look at the Facebook page again. They have approximately, how many people? 186,000 followers in this group. 186,000 followers. And they have this labeled as private investigator. Now, before, I mentioned this before, and they changed it to creator or something like that. Now it's back to private investigator and 186,000 followers. That's a lot of people. Okay? That's a lot of people. Would you not agree? Drop a 1 if you agree. That's a lot of people to get a message to. And if you look at the average posting, they have about 14 to 15,000 likes per average post. Average. That's a lot of people paying attention to the G family, in my humble opinion. I mean, now, hold up. There's a twist here. Not everybody's going to see this as meaningful. Some people will say this is disrespectful. They're going to say this is childish to even talk about. And this hurts this case. But honestly, that's a real risk. Because once something looks like a joke, people might not take the message seriously. So let's break this down. Let's see what we can find in regards, since it's part of the IDAHO4. These are the parents of one of the adult college student that passed away. We're going to go and we're going to try to see if this fits the puzzle for this momentary distraction. Momentary distraction. Does anybody ever remember the, let's just say there were 2 videos that come to my mind, 2 videos. Now, some of the information, the private information that I gave you that's going to come out, y'all are going to read about it in the book. If you've got the book or you ordered the book, drop a 1. If you just drop book, if you ordered the book or pre-ordered the book. And I gave you some hints today in my members only if you want the book faster. I gave you some amazing info. Okay? And that was because my members only, they deserve to know exactly what we're working on and what we can work on together as a whole. If you ever want to get into the members only, I highly recommended it. You're not going to get a black members only jacket or anything like that, but you are going to have a lot of fun. You are going to have a lot of first, and you are going to get a lot of info. Okay? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it probably does. Now, 2 videos came to my mind when I started thinking about the duck. The duck was left on a Jeep. Yes? Is that a Jeep? I believe that's a Jeep. So they left the duck on a Jeep. And I remember one video with Ethan, okay? You guys can probably drop a couple more sources. I remember one video of a Jeep with Ethan. We're going to take this one first. And let me share my screen and let's go on a field trip. And I appreciate everyone being here. Of anywhere you could be, I'm glad right now at this moment you are with me here. This is the first, I think this is a Jeep. Let's do this together. As a whole body here, is this a Jeep? Because this is the one where Ethan was pulled over And John Gearing is in the back. Do you guys remember John? Let me grab a picture of John. And he was interviewed. And he's in Texas, by the way. And this is John. This is a former Sigma Chi. A little brown, dark, wavy hair that's in the sun, obviously. Sigma Chi. Drives a Jeep. Okay, we're making some progress here. Yes, that's a Jeep. Duck, duck, Jeep. Is that like a thing out there with the Jeepers? I used to have a Jeep, and I mean, years ago I got rid of my Jeep, so I'm not really. My daughter, she loves a good loaded, spiked up Jeep that she can go for mudding or whatever. But he drives a Jeep. Hey, okay, it's a Jeep, right? That looks like a Jeep to me. Got a huge sword. Dude, put that thing away. Not just one, but look at all those other ones around behind on him. Yeah, okay. Level up. Nobody cares. Work harder. Believe in yourself. So this guy is one of the guys. Whoa, dude, how did that happen? Did you guys see that? What the heck was that picture? Did he get hurt on his motorcycle? Damn, that looks fierce. Fell off my dirt bike in 2015. That hurts. Ouch. Okay, so this is the video that I remembered where I've seen a Jeep before.
Okay. I'm not going to hammer you with the ticket, but you could get a ticket for this. It's around a $500 ticket for a minor in possession, okay? So I'm going to just make sure everything comes out clear, and I'll get you guys out here, okay?
This is where they were asking for ID. The cop took a while. This is in Moscow. This was on the 28th of January, 22. And then they made Ethan walk the line, do a little bit of stuff.
All right, man, you're good. I appreciate you being responsible and driving. Just, it's a big deal, man. Don't try to hide. I saw you sticking it back there around the corner there, okay? I'm going to cut you guys a break. Just be responsible tonight, okay?
Yeah, I'll go home and get a different car.
All right, guys.
I'll go home and get a different car. Okay. Well, if that's a Jeep, then so be it. I want to see when Ethan jumps out of this car real quick. Can't tell if that's a Jeep, but this guy does have a Jeep.
All right,
now.
Ethan, I'm just going to make sure you're
like a Subaru to me.
good to drive, man. I'm just going to have you pop out. I'm going to check your eyes real quick and get you guys out of here with the warning.
All right, he's got the black and white Nikes on. Now the other, I can't remember. Let me go back and let me just see if Connor has it. And this is on Connor's repository on his YouTube. Here is his channel. You guys can just jump over there and look at all the videos your heart desires. He's got a whole slew of them. And the other one I remember, I believe it was Snyder. Snyder was running all around the area, but I don't remember which one it was. Running all around the area, looking and talking and taking pictures everywhere. And let me see if this is the one, since we're on a field trip, where he walks down and someone drives up.
Maybe around 12.
I can't
Should be
remember
clear
if
other
this
than that.
is the one.
Up top,
No, I'm getting my sister.
you're getting your sister. Where's she living? You want to just have her walk down to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I stay here.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I'll move some of these cones so you can back up right here.
I don't
Okay.
remember if this is the one, but let's watch this for a second. I thought it was a Subaru. Yeah. Looking at it more now, it looks like a Subaru.
Huh?
I'm feeling like this is not the video.
Oh, I meant to tell that News was writing it, but they just walked right in, so. You got something behind you.
Trying to see if there's a Jeep around in the area. Trying to see if there's a Jeep in the background too. Could have swore there was one. You guys see a Jeep anywhere in here? Anyone see a Jeep? The Jeep is a Mercedes Jeep in the picture you showed him posing in front of it. But I don't see a Mercedes Jeep anywhere. I see this Jeep. Isn't that a Jeep? The silver Jeep back there? Let me just take a peek. Isn't that a Jeep right here? Yeah, I thought that was a Jeep in the driveway, and I remember the person drives up. But I can't remember what body cam it was, guys. Let me go through these body cams real quick. Was it Snyder that was going around that area and someone drove up? Yes, they did. In fact, I remember. Hold on a minute. I think it's this video. Again, Connor's page again.
Curious,
it's this one. I think it is. Doesn't a Jeep pull up?
And were you with him last night by chance?
We were at the bars, but then I went back to my girlfriend's house and these guys all came over here.
Okay, and he came back. What bar were you guys at?
Right? Yeah.
Now,
you were with him all night?
This is the 1127 King Road. Apartment 1 is on the bottom floor.
Okay.
This is where Jack Decor and Adam Lotta, for all the public information, all the public documents, they lived here. Now, I don't know how many Jeeps are on this street, but we're going to try to figure out what this clue, these little ducks being left around, means. If there's a meaning at all behind it.
We were at the corner club.
Okay.
He got off work and we went to the corner club back here.
Okay. And you said they were dating?
They were for a long time, but they kind of like just got off, I think.
How's their relationship been?
Really good.
They've been fine. They get along and
still hang out with each other.
Okay. Any arguments or anything like that between them that you know about?
No.
Nothing that you've seen?
Nothing that I've seen.
Has anything ever been physical between them?
No.
Okay. Any verbal arguments that you've noticed?
None that I've seen, no.
Nothing, he's not talking about it or anything like that?
No. They seem to be on fine terms.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Can I talk with you for a second over here?
I'm going to speed this up just a little bit.
What's your name, man?
What's your name? Let me put your name in.
Do you mind if I see your hands real quick? Okay, cool. Birth. And a phone number for you? Okay. And you were with, what was your buddy's name? What's up there? You were last night?
Yeah, we were at the bars and everything.
Okay, how do you see him last night?
See?
Yeah, happy, fine, normal?
Yeah.
Okay. What time did you guys make it home from the bar?
1:30-ish.
You didn't shut it down?
No, I tried our best.
Are you guys at the corner club?
Yeah.
And then what happened once you guys got back?
He went downstairs. We went upstairs and went to bed.
Downstairs? How intoxicated was he?
We went to
Corner club at 1:30, so?
I remember somebody drives up.
What time do you guys go to bed at?
2-ish, probably.
So just hung out real quick and then.
Yeah, they do. Okay, hold on. Let me go fast forward this. This is where Snyder, it's got to be Snyder, going around, or Warner, I can't remember which one. Hold on. Let me see what he says. Connor says this is Snyder. Okay, says it's Snyder. Here comes the Jeep. I knew it. Holy moly, I haven't even had a chance to go through this, guys. Here comes the Jeep. And he asked questions. That is a Jeep, no? That's a Jeep. And I know who's in it. Now, I don't know. I just got the Wheel of Death. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll go back a second. Wait till the Wheel of Death is over. Freaking time I get on to show you something. It's crazy. Every time you guys mention this name right here, I also get LDS copyrighted. Every single video, and I've never really said anything about it. I did in the beginning when it started happening. LDS, Larry David Showalter. It's not Lutheran Day Saints. I'm telling you. It's got to be something going on. Let me see if I could try to do this again. I swear, it never fails. All right, let's not type in, let's use initials. All right, let's just see. I hope you guys can still hear me. Drop a 1. Drop a 1 if you guys can hear me. If my mods can hear me, message me real quick. This is unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I'll give it a minute. All right, you guys can hear me. Can you see the video at all, or am I like got the Wheel of Death? Wheel of Death. Drop a 2 if you've got the Wheel of Death. Stop mentioning people's names. Use their initials. I know what these people drive, guys. Let me try it one more time. Let's see if it'll work. There it goes. I'm going to play this slow so that we can hear every single word this guy says. Not super duper slow, but just a little slower. Here we go.
Hello. Huh?
What's going on?
Can't really tell you guys right now.
Really?
Yeah, sorry about it. You live here?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
See his hand.
Have you been gone all day?
Yeah, I just got home.
Okay.
I just got home.
Were you gone last night or?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Take a picture of the Jeep. That is indeed a Jeep. All right. That's the wheel of life. Your life goes on while it spins. I love it, Lulubelle. You always keep me laughing and keep having fun. Okay, so Adam Lotta drives a Jeep. Is that maybe what they're referring to? Apartment 11127. Adam lived there with JD. Is that even possible? Anything's possible. And there's red Solo cups on the ground. Yeah, it's probably normal, just the party town, right? Okay, got it. Takes a picture of the Jeep.
Yeah.
Definitely, he's taking pictures.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Said he was gone all night. Okay, I'm going to go through and I'm going to see if we can see any other Jeeps. Any other Jeeps in this video. Boy, that car got smashed in. Okay, I see a 4Runner back there. Ford. Let me see. Trucks, 4Runner, Ford. There's a, I don't know, that looks like a hatchback, something back there. Don't see any other Jeeps. All right. Don't see any other Jeeps. I don't see any up the street. I've watched all the videos coming in and out. The only Jeep that I see is that one right there. And we've determined that Ethan was probably driving a Subaru. I've gone through here. I watched the other video. I thought it was... Watch that one. No Jeeps around there. Went all throughout there. He climbs up the back and goes around. Just happens to come home and says he wasn't there all night. But there is a Jeep in here. Okay. Does that Jeep have a back bench seat? Well, I have no idea. I think it's next to the shark house. The Shark Tank house. I didn't see a Jeep back there because he walks back there earlier in this video. He's taking pictures of Ethan's Jeep. He walks, takes around pictures of the neighborhood. He goes all the way back behind here.
We were at the bar.
Yeah.
There's a guy in a teal sweatshirt.
Okay. And I appreciate if you.
He goes around and looks and takes pictures of all these cars
Figure out
back
what's going
here.
on. Okay. What was his girlfriend's name?
Kaylee.
Answer anything right there?
Probably.
Sure, all of our information.
Yeah, there's no other Jeeps back there. Okay, got it. And then we see pictures of, them posting at an Italian restaurant, and they, watch, I'll show you the picture that they leave at this Italian restaurant, which is kind of telling if we're looking at it like someone's trying to leave a message. This one was left at the Italian restaurant by Mrs. G. And let me just grab it. It was in a different post. So there's a post with all these little different colored ducks there. They're all different colors she's leaving. It's not just one specific color. Okay. They went on this started on, I want to say, here it is. It started on the 17th of April. 17th of April. And this specific one, they left a blue duck. I don't know if it's a blue duck. I mean a duck hunt or a wild goose chase. Here is Italian restaurant, a blue duck. So we know that the killer was of Italian descent. We were told that by Othram. No, that's a 4Runner. Everything they do is suspicious. Well, are they trying to send a message? I mean, if you think about the core, gosh, I'm trying to be really like, could this backfire? Some people, like I said, may seem that this is childish or disrespectful, but honestly, that's a risk. That's a risk we're talking about. Does this help or hurt awareness, credibility? Depends on the placement. Which one do you think? Does this help or would this hurt their case? Yeah, sure. Normal trash, red Solo cups, panties, Brocs. I agree. And I'll go back to the video that I made the other day and people were screaming, how do I know this? And this isn't so. And yeah, we're going to get a lot of backlash. We're getting a lot of backlash, even sharing the book, right? It's going to come with the territory. But let me show you a video that I made and people are like, well, how do you know this? Well, all you have to do is really look. Just wait and look. Okay? I said, what is this blood? They're stepping all over and in it. And I showed you the other ISP, Gideon Roberts, and what he says. But just watch this video for a second. Slow-mo. Debris on the ground that's been covered up right here. And they have moved the leaves on it. And it was odd to me that if you look down each side of the sidewalk, in some areas, the leaves have been moved. I mean, the leaves tell a story, guys. Every little tiny detail tells a story. Every little detail. Something under Kaylee's car. Don't know what it is. What is that? Leaves have been moved from outside in front of Maddie's car all the way over to the front door. That looks like movement to me. They look down when they walk in. Okay, all those leaves have been moved. That is not, that's not normal to have that amount of leaves, in my humble opinion, in front of one person's car, but not the other. Look at that. That looks like obvious placement or movement to me. If you would agree, drop a 1 or a yes, whatever's convenient for you. A 1 is easy to hit. A yes, you got to type out, but 1 is simple. It looks like some type of possible movement. And they block out. I'm going to play this super slow because I want you to see this. Who brought you the video of the underwear in the street with the bra, panties, and underwear? Men's underwear. Me. You're going to see some first. I talk about the evidence. I'm playing it slow. You're going to see this guy, this cop, a protector of justice, protector of local residents. It does look like you're going to see him pick up the evidence in the street, and they have blocked this mother fricker out. I'm going to get freaking hot and spicy up here. Hot and spicy, guys. He goes and he bends down and he picks up the evidence in the freaking street, and they are trying to block him out from what he's doing. Yes, busted. 100% busted. You'll see him again bend down. I'm playing it slow for you. Look at him bend down and pick up the freaking underwear. Guys, I'm not playing here. It does look like the top of a golf, either a shoe, a golf club. I was thinking a golf club. It could be a shoe. It could be anything under there. Thank you so much, Lulu Bell. It could be whatever you want until we see clearer pictures. Do we get them? No. He is bending down, picking up the freaking, oh my gosh. What am I talking about? I will show you. Law and crime. Go law and crime, Idaho murders. All right. They have 1.8 million views on this channel of this freaking evidence in the street. Okay? I'm going to play it slow and I'm going to turn this crap off. You can see it in the street. There are 63 likes in here. There's 123 people watching. Hit that thumbs up button. I'm going to get feisty, guys. This evidence is right here in the street. I zoomed in, made a TikTok video. I know a lot of you aren't on the TikTok streets, but I left a TikTok video and the evidence is in the road. No one talked about it. No one said a word. Okay. Let me grab it. I'm going to show you because I don't know if this is going to pick up the underwear. And you know what people said? That's normal. People carry their laundry all around there. Well, I don't see a laundromat here anywhere. I know all these places have washer and dryers of their own. I know that all these apartment places have laundromats. Okay? UNDI. I can't remember how I titled it. There it is. Somebody else copied my video. All right, not a problem. Why was the underwear? I got to turn this off. But here is a better picture that I blew up. But this is the picture. Why was the underwear not bagged? That is a Calvin Klein underwear. Okay. And these are panties. They are literally in the road. In the road, folks. Right there in the road. Right there. Calvin Klein underwear. I zoomed in and I got the best picture ever. Why was it not in evidence? I think we know the answer to that. So get this. Go back to my video and watch that. He picks it up. You can see him leaning down, picking the crap up. They tried to blur him out. They tried, but I played this slow. They try to blur him out. He's over there picking all the shit up. These people are complicit. I'm about to get freaking have a crash out meltdown. This just picks me off. Oh, this ticks me off to no end when I see officers do this shit and you don't see it in evidence. Does Moscow have underwear in evidence? Do they have a narrative? Let's go look. That is a great question. Let's see. Of course, all these are I certify or declare under penalty or perjury pursuant to the law of the state of Idaho that the foregoing is true and correct. Yeah. Let's see if there is underwear. Let's see if they logged in any underwear. Let me spell it right first. I'm mad. I am frustrated. Okay, they have 518 underwear. That is when they went and logged in Koberger's underwear on 120. That is on the evidence sheet in Pennsylvania. All his stuff. 96 underwear. 1117. Don't know. It has no reference to item 96. Let me go to the forensics and let me see if there is an item 96 that was tested. Let's do the next step. Let's just see if there's an item 96. Let me see. Boy, 96. Let's see. Item 96. 96 says it's underwear from Xana Kernodle. That is not street evidence. Right there. That is 96 underwear that Xana Kernodle was wearing. That is not the underwear we see in the street. Jeez. Oh, let me see if there's any more underwear entries. Let me just see. Inquiring minds are going to freaking find out. Underwear. Xana was found in her underwear. That was what we just saw in 96. Okay, so this is the canvassing. The families went out and did canvassing on the 20th. They found a light pink beige pair of underwear, Warner's brand. This was located at the juniper shrub by the Shattuck Amphitheater. Shattuck Amphitheater in the Charles Houston Arboretum. That was another pair of underwear. And a black glove, all size, found at the gym. And they found items and collected. Okay, nope, I don't see any other underwear. There was a female wearing a sweatshirt and underwear laying in the middle of the bedroom. That was a narrative that they found. Underwear, Calvin Klein beige. They said that this is the underwear that Xana Kernodle was wearing. Calvin Klein underwear. All right. Put in color and male and female. I can do that. And the last entry was Xana in the dryer, small beige Calvin Klein underwear. Let me try one more way. Xana Kernodle had thong type underwear and a gray sweatshirt. Those are the only references to underwear. Now I'm going to type in pink. Pink comforter, light pink and beige pair of underwear, pink and black, okay, green and pink coat, green and pink jacket, short sleeve shirt pink, that's what Maddie was wearing, pink comforter, that's it. I'll put Calvin. Let's see if we can find, shoot. I got to get my nails done. Okay, the underwear was on Xana. That was beige. It was not pink. Underwear, not pink, not pink, not pink. No pink, no Calvin, no nothing. Okay? Jeez. No nothing. And let me go one more step. I'm going to go back to the state's exhibit list and I am going to type underwear. Let me see if there's any more references to underwear in here. It says 1 of 3. Xana, back and front. That's it. That's all the state had in their list. And one more step, I'm going to do it. We're going to just freaking do it. We know that evidence is not found in MPD. They didn't put this into evidence. I don't care if there was any probative value. They could have found out whose underwear was in the freaking street through DNA. If it was one of the victims, because let's go back real quick. Let's just take this one step further. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to go down and I'm going to see, because I've already pointed this out before. I'm going to get freaking feisty now. I'm lucky I don't have anywhere to go today because my blood pressure is through the roof. Look at this. Now, I've done this exercise before with you guys, but keep in mind, a lot of people are new here, never seen the stream. They're going to be watching this. Let's go through Kaylee's body, what they found on her body during the autopsies. They took a DNA card, which is standard. They took hand swabs, wrist swabs, forearm swabs, foot swabs, ankle swabs, anal swab, oral swab, vaginal swab, head of hair, nail clippings, a neck swab, handbags. This is what Kaylee was wearing. A t-shirt, corner club, nasty and inebriated black, pants, Joe boxer gray and black flannel, silver earring, 1. It would have said earrings, 2. 1 sock, white Adidas. Is that her other sock under her car? Could this be a sock? Could be. I'm not saying it is. But her shoe is obviously missing from this autopsy report. Okay? And let's see what else. SD photo card of autopsy photos. What do you not see Kaylee wearing? What do you not see Kaylee wearing? In this report, it says nothing about a bra, and it says nothing about underwear. A missing sock. She only had 1 sock on. Doesn't say anything about her underwear. Nothing. We're speculating, but that could have been her underwear in the street that was not picked up or reported as evidence. Now, there's another pair of underwear, and there is a bra. There's another pair of underwear and a bra. But yet underwear is not seen on Kaylee's autopsy. Now, let's go to Maddie Mogen. And no disrespect to these families, but these are questions they should be asking. These are the questions that, if Olivia was so intelligent to go and get her reports, the phones, then why didn't they go all the way and figure this out? Maddie Mogen, let's see what Maddie had on her. Standard DNA card, hand, wrist, forearm, foot, ankle swabs, anal, oral, vaginal hair, nail clippings, neck, handbags, short sleeve pink shirt, black Vandal Russell brand sweats, pants, medium, 3 silver rings, hair tie black, false eyelashes 2, and they say they got both false eyelashes, and an SD card autopsy photos. Guys, there's another one for you. There is no underwear listed. Sorry, that was an accident. There is no nothing referencing the underwear. That could have been Maddie's underwear. Could have been. Did they test it? It's not listed. Do we know? It's not in forensics. Gosh, it just pisses me off every time I see this. And you see little things that add up that should matter. Should matter. Like this. Now, let's do this. We're going to go back one step. I'm going to take a deep, calm breath like I always tell everyone. Here's the part most people miss because your brain hates randomness. So you see a duck in a serious place and your brain goes, wait, what? And now you start thinking. And now you start questioning. Now you're talking. And that is how narratives begin. Is this a duck hunt? Is this secret messaging? Or is this some wild goose chase? Don't know. I could play devil's advocate here and I could stir the pot a little bit. What if this is a bad idea? What if what you're seeing all around is a bad idea? What if it distracts from the facts? It makes the family maybe look less credible right now. And it turns to something serious, into something people laugh about. But be honest, this is serious. This could happen. But, and I know, Marlena, I know some people don't wear underwear to bed. I get it. There are people that have to do it for health reasons, medical reasons, choice. But when you see pictures like how they were brutally murdered and all the swabs they did on them, and you have the prosecutor saying, no, this was not of sexual nature. They were very clear. But when you see pictures of like this, if you guys want a fireball moment, watch my next video I'm about to release. Then you start questioning, what happened here? Was somebody attacked outside? Why is there hair on the inside of certain people's body parts or bodies when in fact it shouldn't be there? Those are the questions you're going to have to start asking yourself. And the underwear in the street, yes. The first timer, I wear underwear to bed. Yeah, a lot of people do. Some people don't. It's choice. Like I said, choice or medical or something. But here's the deal. Is a duck, just leaving a little random duck around, is it a message or is it nonsense? What do you think? Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people telling me, I had Emily Allant comment on my video saying, oh, that's very common. That's common to see underwear laying in the street, guys. That's not a big deal. They were doing laundry. Really? Don't you think that if someone lost their private stuff, they would go back and find it? Yeah. Not in the street, guys. So is this a message or is this just nonsense in your humble opinion? Let's get a poll. 1, message. 2, nonsense. I mean, would you ever do this to get attention to leave messages? I think it's a little creepy. I also think it's kind of clever. A little bit of both, in my humble opinion. A little bit of, oh God, this is the one I have been waiting for. Caleb, you are, tennis shoes all over the power lines. Yep. At the end of the day, it really isn't about ducks. It's about people trying to be heard, in my humble opinion, in a world that always doesn't listen. Some people protest loud, some people do it privately, and some people leave tiny clues everywhere, hoping someone notices. And this could be just nothing. But I notice things like this, folks, because I'm Phoenix, where I question everything, even the smallest details, because sometimes that is where the biggest answers hide. Yes, folks, answers hide in the little details. How many times, and this is the panty thief in the vicinity. Yeah, I think that was a setup for the panty thief, Creamy Row. I think it was. There was somebody around there. Was it a serial killer that was doing this shit, or was it somebody local? Because Brian Koberger wasn't local. People leave ducks around here a lot. It's a way to tell someone you like your Jeep. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a way, but they don't leave it at Italian restaurants. They don't leave it at Bob's Big Boy or Shoney's. They're not leaving it just on, they're leaving it in certain locations. That's what they're doing, in my humble opinion. We're paying attention. This is our way of saying, the G's, we pay attention. We're paying attention. We always have been. Okay? Can we look at the white object leaves in the... I wonder if it's Kaylee's other sock. There's a video coming, guys. There's a video coming. Trust me. There's a trail of evidence. Now, let's do this. Do you guys want to hang out with me for, I don't know, let me go and look real quick. I want to get your take on this. I have been waiting for an interview to drop. Connor said he was going to load it. There is a premiere that he just started, and I want to go watch it. If you want to watch it with me, stick around. If not, feel free to leave. He just put it up, and I'm going to go watch it real quick. Stay if you want. Let me put,
okay, it's December 21st or December.
Let me get, it's a premiere. I can't get closed captioning. Dang it. I have to wait till it loads.
1st, 2022.
This is the first.
This is Detective Sergeant Mike Van Leuven. It is.
So this is the 1st of December, and this is Kyle Frey. And hold on a minute. I just did a boo-boo. This is Kyle Frey. All right, here we go.
6 p.m. I'm here with Detective Rich Alderson, and we are interviewing at Sigma Chi. I will start just by kind of giving you a little background about the purpose of these interviews. We call these victimology interviews, and I think I mentioned it on the phone a little bit, but we're just trying to get a sense from you how you knew Ethan and or the other girls that were involved, and if you're aware of any problems they might have had, any motivation that somebody might have had to try to hurt them, things like that. So first, I guess let's go back. When did you first meet Ethan?
It would have been, I saw him during Rush, but I didn't really meet him, but it would have been bid day. I don't know the exact day, but that was last year, because we've been in the house for 2 years. Well, last year, the full year, and then this semester. But it would have been on bid day. That was because they load us up from the lawn that's right next to the Arb lawn, or it's right by the Life Sciences building. Anyways, went there. They drove us to trucks over here to Sigma Chi in the lodge, and that was like they put all of the freshmen on the stage, and then they just told us to introduce each other, and then we went straight over to the whites after that. So that was my first interaction with Ethan.
Okay. And what did you think of him?
He was dope. He was definitely one of the popular, every group kind of has the guys that kind of stick out. And he was definitely one of the popular guys because, one, he was just tall. I feel like that has something to do with it. And then just very, nice. Like, he wasn't a person that's like, no, you don't get to come, like, trying to be, like, exclude people. He was more of, like, let's party, like, everyone's welcome, the more the merrier, that type of thing.
And did he have a lot of friends? Did he make a lot of friends here at the house?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Did he have problems with anybody here at the house?
No, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing that, but he was just very well liked, like Ethan, and with other fraternities too. Like, he was just friends with everyone, and I know that that's not helpful, but it's just the truth. Like,
nobody would want to hurt him.
When I spoke at his memorial,
this is a common theme.
That I've never seen him mad, because he just wasn't like a controversial person. He was just like loving and like welcoming, just like Xana, same way. But I've been running through my brain the past couple
This
weeks.
seems to be a common theme among these frat interviews, is that Ethan was a great guy, loving, caring. They were perfect. It seems like a common theme rehearsed, in my opinion.
Trying to think of any sort of reason, and nothing just makes sense. It's just...
Well, and just so you understand our thoughts about this, from everything we know and everything we've seen, it appears that Ethan was killed because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, this wasn't intended for him necessarily. That's sort of the gist I'm getting. But we don't know for sure. So, we don't want to put that out there. But everyone's saying that they can't think of a reason why someone would do this targeting Ethan. I mean, that makes sense. So, but we still need to do this anyway because we need to get all this down. How about family life? Did he ever talk about his family or his past back home?
Not as much back home.
They redacted it. God, that's a long redaction. I wonder what he was saying. It's redacted. It's still playing.
Did he ever talk about being in a physical altercation with anybody in the past?
Like any fights or anything?
Yeah. No. So he wasn't a fighter?
No. Looks like he was with his size, but no, he was not a fighter.
Agree.
So I understand that he was living in an apartment off campus because he was academic suspended.
Now, this makes a lot of sense, Lulu Bell. For no one wanting to hurt him, he was viciously attacked in an unlikable way, left naked.
From being able to live here. How did he take that?
It bothered him, and, he didn't like to show that it bothered him too much, but, we were talking here, and he'd spend a lot of time at Xana's. He rarely slept in his apartment, but he would come over here during the day to hang out, my apartment. He'd get down with his classes, obviously for being, suspended academically. So he'd come in here after class, play Xbox pretty much all day, and then he'd go to watch, Monday Night Football, or we'd go to chapter. But it took a toll on him, like, because if you're academically suspended, you don't get out of little. That really bothered him. He hated that.
Wait a minute. If you're academically suspended, what? I'm confused. If you're academically suspended, you can't go anywhere? I mean, I don't really understand that whole gist of this. Do you guys understand? Can somebody explain that to me?
And then like brotherhoods and parties, like I'm our risk man, so I wasn't in charge. I'm in charge of the list and everything. And he would ask me to like leave a window unscrewed for him so he could sneak in, because with our bylaws, if you're suspended academic, you can't.
What? Leave a window unlocked so you can sneak in? Wow, he was in charge of the list. This guy is saying he was in charge of the list of the frat. And obviously, you can't go to frat parties. Thank you, ePotty21. Thank you. So he wasn't supposed to be out, but he was out sneaking around. Ethan. Wow. Let's
Party with us. You can't come to brotherhoods or anything.
Could he come to chapter?
He'd come to chapter, yeah. And he did come to chapter a lot. He was definitely trying to earn back a level of like respect amongst the older upperclassmen, I think.
But so he could come to chapter, but not parties.
Yeah, and I mean, he still came in. Like, people would let him in, when some of the upperclassmen weren't there or whatever. But
Was he the only person that was academically suspended?
Justin and Kai were also the same way, and they chose to stay back in.
Are they affiliated with that chapter or no?
No. You have to be, deficient 2 semesters in a row to be academically suspended. So I think he was the only one this year that, besides Kai, but they just chose to live at home.
Is it a straight GPA for that?
Above a 2.75. If you fall below it, then you're deficient.
So, the apartment that he rented off campus, do you know where that was?
Yeah, it was. I helped him put his AC unit in. It's right over by my brother's place. I don't know the exact address of it. I helped the family move out of there today. Yeah, I want to be able to give you the street name, but I know how to get there.
So he helped the family move out of there today.
Can you just zoom in on it? I'm the blue dot. Somebody said it was over by 76.
Yes, so let's see here. I think it was this one. Because I had the parking lot like this, dumpsters. It's right there on the hill. Yeah. So it would be not those ones. It would have been this one. 15.
This one here.
I think that one of those two. I was just there today, but
He was just there today, but he can't remember. This is a 20-something-year-old. He can't remember. What?
Did he say if he ever had any problems with anybody over there that was living at those apartments?
no, he actually would mention like funny stories about his one neighbor to the right of him. He would just be like the dude will just be out in like PJs, whatever, blah blah blah, just posted up staring out there. But he didn't really ever spend too much time there because we only talked about it the day I went over there to help him put his AC unit in, and that was during rush this year. It was super hot, but
When you talked about the guy that was standing outside his neighbor, I mean, was that like the guy was weird or?
no, it was like a funny story, just like, oh yeah, that dude's dope, like this blah 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 blah.
Okay.
But it wasn't like, oh, I'm worried about him type of thing.
Did he ever talk about the homeless guy that lived in the van parked out in the street by that apartment?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, how about other girls? Has he, besides Xana, was he involved with any other girls up here?
Involved as in
Romantically involved, pursuing other girls? No. Stealing somebody's girlfriend?
No. Ethan and Xana were like end game, like just perfect. I would always ask him when he'd be playing video games, how are you and Xana doing? And it was always like just great. And every time I saw them together, they were great. Everyone else would say the same thing. They were just like, I don't know, they weren't like polar opposites. And I know people say opposites attract, but like they were like so much the same person and it just worked for them. Like neither of them got upset, neither of them got mad. They never fought over stupid things that I was told anyways. Because every time I asked Ethan, he was like, yeah, we're great.
They redacted that. How convenient. Long redaction. So he, he just went over there, but now he can't figure out where it is. Temporary amnesia, selective memory loss. What in the holy heck? This is a long redacted part, guys. Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can fast forward this.
Anything like that?
Okay.
But no issues as far as him making any big unexplainable purchases, having too much money, any issues with gambling, anything like that, online gambling, betting people money.
No, he never was really one of the people that was betting, and the main purchases that Ethan was having were like Taco Bell. Like I'm pretty sure there's still a Taco Bell wrapper over there, but eating out.
What wrapper over there?
Chipotle when they go over to Pullman.
What wrapper over there? It's December 1st. He's interviewing this guy. What wrapper over there is he talking about? that wrapper over there. What?
Is the bag over here?
The bag.
The Taco Bell bag you were talking about?
I think it's not. I think it's just a Taco Bell wrap.
Remember, they are in Sigma Chi Frat interviewing him.
Wrapper right there.
I was looking for a bag with a receipt in it so we can see how he paid.
Oh, see
Okay.
how he paid. Interesting.
Okay, how about drugs? Did he use any drugs besides alcohol?
I think he definitely would use Adderall as just kind of a way to help sober him up. But
what was his source of Adderall?
you know, he would always say he got it from Xana, and I think, you know, because I don't know. Personally, I've never done Adderall. So I don't know who the dealers, so to say, are. But I know a lot of times he'd be like, Xana got me an Adderall. Like, we'd be over there partying, day drinking, or whatever. And he'd be like, oh, I'm about to take this Adderall, you know, like 10 milligrams or whatever. But
What?
I would say
Right.
he had talked about cocaine, but I think that was something he tried last year, and then he said he hated it, because I was with Xana and Ethan earlier this year, and we were talking about it, and they were both just like, it's just overrated. But I think besides alcohol, it was just Adderall, and then obviously nicotine. But
Did he smoke or chew or vape or what?
vape. And then
The cocaine use last year, was that just a one-time thing?
I think it was just a one-time. Like, he was never like, I didn't even know about it last year until he told me. But and then also he did smoke marijuana occasionally, but I would not call him like a marijuana user. Like, he wasn't someone that like had a reputation of smoking.
Will smoking marijuana here at the house get you kicked out?
Will it? Yes.
Yeah,
We
it's
had an
illegal.
incident last year with a member that we had a party and they smoked in one of our apartments, and we dropped him. We gave him a Form 51.
When I was the proconsul here, we did the same thing.
Wait a minute.
3 members that had
Really?
they bought a bag of.
Wait a minute. Let me get this right. These guys are using Adderall with perhaps without a prescription. He knows of Ethan doing cocaine. He knows of Ethan drinking and also using Adderall. And he also knows that Ethan is on suspension, but yet he was climbing in and out of the windows, and then they want to know how he was paying for Taco Bell. Now, let me get this right. Then they have a frat come in and they buy and they smoke inside, and then all of a sudden, bam, this guy gets a 50 when he gets kicked out. But yet they know about Ethan and they accept it as okay.
Marijuana in this apartment up here.
Yeah.
Where the guys brought it to us. And
Yeah, so now our board, like, we'll do random checks. Proconsul and consul will
True.
go around and do checks, and it's not weed as much as dab pens that they're looking for, you know.
that didn't exist back then.
So yeah.
Dab pens, okay. Vaped. So, you gotta be 21 to buy vapes now, right? So,
Yeah.
Who was the source of vape pens?
Well, Ethan never really bought his own vape. He would more so be like he'd be in here sitting in that chair playing video games. So like, all right, I'm gonna go steal a freshman's vape, like while this game was loading. But he did have them occasionally, and he always just would like, oh, Xana has a vape, and then he would hit Xana's vape.
So a bit of a mooch.
With vapes, anyways, he was not afraid to be like, and freshmen just throw vapes at you because you know it's a good way to get in with them, I guess.
Okay, what about past relationships? Did you ever talk about past relationships and maybe he had ended for some reason, either with girls or with guys?
Occasionally we talk about like old girlfriends and stuff, but it's not something that would be like, oh, she had a sketchy family or whatever. Like, they're always nice girls, because I'm pretty sure he had a pretty serious relationship in high school.
Yeah, he did.
But,
I know.
you know, that was in high school, and him and Xana were doing so well. So we never really focused on like old relationships, I guess.
Sometimes new boyfriends get jealous of old relationships, if that makes sense. Like if he had a serious relationship with someone in high school and he was like their first love, and then that's gone and he's moved on to Xana, and then that girl starts dating somebody else and his relationship with her becomes a thing in their relationship, then the new boyfriend can become resentful of that and think that they want to target somebody that's happened before. So do you have a name of the person you dated in high school?
You know, I don't.
I do.
I could ask and call you, but not off the top of my head.
We'll just make note of it, and if that's something we need to readdress, we will. Did he have any medical issues you're aware of?
Not that I was aware of, no.
Are you aware of anybody that was really into Xana?
No, and that's kind of a hard question because like everyone loves Xana.
Right.
What a question. He takes a call also in the middle of an interview. Holy moly. This is like the second interview. He takes a call from the captain and then he answers this phone in the middle. Again, yeah, Caleb, I noticed that. Easily distracted.
But I'm talking more of a romantic piece.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I can't think of anyone. She was, I guess my point is like everyone was just so close to Xana and stuff, you know, with the hugging and everything that nothing ever stood out that was like in an intimate way, like, oh, like, and Ethan never had any suspicions or anything like that.
had Ethan and Xana been together essentially from the time y'all pledged, or was
No, so earlier I think they were going on like 10 months. It was either like 7 or 10 months. I'm pretty sure. They started dating second semester. She littled Ethan, which I don't know. It's like in Greek life, like when I join the house, I get a big, and they're just kind of like my mentor.
I thought you weren't supposed to date if you had that type of relationship. Anybody catch that?
But when I'm a sophomore, I'm able to say girls. So if there's like a theta or a kappa, I could be like, and I really get along with her. I could be like, oh, I'm going to little you because you're dope. You know, you can be in my Greek fam, and then Greek fams will like make a group chat, have fam nights. Like I have one next week, and they'll like kind of hang out and just talk party. So Xana really liked Ethan last year just as like a person, and then first semester she littled him. So then Ethan was Xana's little. And then they kind of like started, you know, hanging out a lot and dating. Like when they started, there was like 10 nights where they like slept in the same bed and cuddled, and everyone kind of gave them a hard time because like when you little someone and like someone's your big, it's kind of, you know, Greek family. So there's kind of like the whole like incest joke, I guess. So people were kind of giving them a hard time about it. And then they like started dating from that. So she was just spending more time over here, and then they, you know, slowly just kind of realized that they had feelings for each other, I think, and then they got together.
And you're not aware of anyone prior to Ethan that Xana had a relationship with, or somebody that was really into Xana?
No, well, not a relationship. Like, I knew of people that, like, had hooked up with her the year prior and stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure kind of had a thing with Xana for a while, but not in like a, it was never like, oh my gosh, like, getting upset about it or anything. But
that's the thing that you said that Ethan would go still.
Peter, yeah, Peter was one of Ethan's closer friends in the house too. Like, he watched a lot of football in there, and they all kind of were a big group.
That whole thing you're describing about having a little that's a girl in another house and having a Greek family, that's all new.
Really?
Oh yeah, but none of that was.
Did you guys, as far as the same house, did you have a big or anything like that?
I had a big brother. Yeah.
But you weren't able to
like not somebody from outside. No, the only person from outside that had anything to do with us was the sweetheart.
Huh?
But yeah. Anyway, we usually pair up with another house for derby days, but that was about it. Okay. So we've heard that there were issues with some delts with some people associated with that house and with like Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, Jeff, who's a beta who lived over here with a bunch of betas in the corner house.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
A little bit, the beta and Delta. Yeah.
So there's been allegations regarding, not major stuff, but like the Delts providing drugs and the Delts hitting on girls that had boyfriends, and that's getting in fights with a beta.
Connor, if you're watching, we need all those Delt interviews. Pronto.
All that sort of thing. Were there any Delts that were going to and from the house where Zena was that Ethan ever talked about? That were like, these guys are a problem, or this guy's a problem, or we had to kick some guy out, or?
There was one kid, his name is, but people call him Drew. But that was more of like he would get drunk and act like an idiot. There was an incident, and I don't recall exactly what it was about, but Drew's like, he shoved
Drew?
Aphie. I want to say she's an Aphie, freshman this year. She like.
He said Drew, right?
And like he was blacked out and like pushed her over, and Ethan used to love him. Like he would come over, because a lot of the Delts hung out there at Santa's all the time.
Yeah.
But I remember one time Ethan being like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Oh why?" And he's like, "Because he shoved a girl." He's like, I'm not associating myself with him anymore.
So who's?
I could point him out to you, but
You said his name's Ethan.
I believe his name is.
And is he adult?
He is adult, yes.
Yep. I got it. Yeah. Got it.
What's your game of choice?
Yep.
Game of choice?
Yeah.
On Xbox. This is all Ethan stuff. I mean, I have an Xbox, but I like a hunting game. It's called Hunter Call of the Wild. It's like a fake world like GTA, but it's like with hunting. Like the wind direction, they can, like smell you, things like that. But I don't play a whole lot. Yeah, people call him. So that would probably be him. And he was a nice kid. He was just kind of like, I don't know. Got too drunk, and after that happened, Ethan just didn't tolerate when people disrespected like girls, and he wasn't like I said, mean about it or everything. He would just be like, "You need to leave." But there were never really too many nights like that where there was like altercations at Santa's or anything.
At 10.
What's your knowledge of Maddie and Kaylee?
So I obviously hung out a lot over there because me and Ethan were so close, and I got close to Xana through Ethan. Maddie I just knew her as a another Pi, and I'd go over there, but I didn't really talk to her too much. And then Kaylee just had a dog, so I would talk to Kaylee about her dog, because she had a dog over there for a while. Both really sweet girls. Kaylee spent a lot of time upstairs when we partied. And then I remember like one night she came down upset because the cops had been called and they had gotten like a noise complaint. And then they said if they had to come back, then they were gonna fine the house, $600 or do whatever. And then they had to come back because we were playing music and everything. But besides that, Keely really just spent a lot of time upstairs. But Maddie would be around at parties quite a bit with like Bethany.
Did Katie, was upstairs off limits to people that were there for a party?
I mean, they never really said it was off limits, but like no one went up there. Okay. Like we would be like right in the main living room area, and then people would chill in the kitchen, and then when it was still warm, we'd play like Pong outside and stuff.
Did the majority of people, or most people that attended these parties, did they know that Kaylee's bedroom was upstairs?
Why are they asking about Kaylee?
Maybe. Like, I only really knew her bedroom was upstairs because, like, a lot of times we just have, like, kickbacks over there to where we just throw music on, everyone sit on the couch. It wasn't as much of a party. It's just, like, kind of all hanging out, talking. And, like, Kaylee would come down from upstairs, so I'm just like, oh, Kaylee must live upstairs.
So when you went there for that, who were the people that were there?
When I would go over there just for...
to hang out?
It was usually... I almost always saw... And then Xana... and Alon and her boyfriend were there quite a bit. Obviously Xana, and then a lot of Thetas would come over. I always felt like I don't know if I'd be able to really give you too many names, but it was mainly them on nights like that. Maybe would come over with her friend. There's one other Theta that was close, but that was usually like the group that when we would have more of a small thing, Ethan would text me like, oh, we're drinking at Xana's. And I'd always expect it to be a big party, but then it wasn't ever too big. There was nights where it was like hit or miss.
How many people were there on average in a group setting?
It was packed. I mean, like when the Delts showed up and then our Sigma Chi guys, like it was kind of like a rotation almost. Like every couple of weeks there'd be a pretty big party at Xana's, and then on Thursdays it might be more of like a kickback, like I said. But when the Delts showed up and all of our guys showed up, I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder, people like right at the top of the stairs, and then like all on the couches, and then some in the kitchen, and then some in like Ethan and Xana's room. Like there's always a couple people just kind of talking in there if they needed to get away from the noise. But
so now when, and excuse my ignorance of the language, but when y'all have an event here at your house, it's controlled, you gotta be on the list, etc. But over there, it essentially sounds like with it that crowded, essentially anybody could show up.
Yeah, that's just how Xana like was. She was just very like accepting. So like no one, like people knew, like you never saw like Theta Chi's there, for example, right? Like you never saw Sigma News. Like it was more of a place for like Sigma Chi's, Delts, some Betas would show up rarely, but for the most part it was Sigma Chi's, Delts, and then just Hi-Fis.
So the chance of just a random vandal walking up there and just hanging out in the middle of a party?
Yeah, you're probably very likely to get in. Okay. I mean, they had a door code, but I think almost everyone knew the door code. So
as long as someone's coming there and not causing an issue, they're probably not going to be.
Yeah, no, they're good. Like last year, Xana lived in Shark Tank with some other Hi-Fis last year. It's that blue house by the. There's that one house with the steps going up it over there on King Street, and then it's that blue house below it. We called that Shark Tank last year. And like I would ask them, like, hey, my little brother from high school, senior, wants to come up and party. Is that okay? Or I have friends at LC that want to come up. She'd be like, sure, like let them in, welcome. So there was always a very like welcoming environment. Like if you knew Xana, you knew that as long as your guests acted fine, like she would not care that they were there.
So when you talk about Xana's place, Xana welcoming people, Xana was fine. Are you making that reference to Xana being the key person over there because of your relationship with Xana? Because I feel like Kaylee was also a senior. Kaylee moved in there first before Xana moved in there. So in your mind, are you referencing it being more Xana's house or more Kaylee's house, or?
Yeah, because just like Ethan would always text the group to like come over to Xana's. So I've always just known it as Xana's, and like since Xana was the main one that was always partying or like she was the one that was like, yeah, let's hang out tonight. You know, like we'd be over at the Whites and we'd be like, yeah, can we party at your place or things like that.
How old are you?
21.
You're 21.
I just turned 21 August.
Okay, so have you found that you've started going like to the corner club more?
You
or
know,
going to bars more, or are you still mostly
not really, just because like one, money.
Yeah.
And then two, none of the guys, I mean, there's a couple guys in my PC that are 21.
Yeah.
But I just didn't really enjoy going with some of the upperclassmen because, like, yeah, I get along with them. Everyone gets along, but I was just like, I'm just going to wait because I transferred from freshman year, and I joined the house last year. So I'm pretty much older than everyone in my PC.
Yeah.
But I didn't, like, at PC, I didn't really get my, you know, house parties and, you know, like, playing Pong and, you know, just a house and just, like, that, right? I didn't want to just go straight into, like, the bar scene. So I definitely try to spend as much time at, you know, the Whites or Xana's or out of house, like, alleys, out of houses versus, like, I have 2 more years still. I can go to the bars then when my PC can go.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. So Xana was the center of the get-togethers over there. So Kaylee and Maddie didn't have parties over there.
I mean, I don't think Kaylee really cared too much because, like, she would just come down, there'd be people over, and she would, like, grab food or something, and then she would walk back up. And then Maddie was always partying, too, for the most part. Like, when I would see Maddie there. I didn't see Maddie there all the time, but, like, I did see her there enough to where, like, I had recognized her and been like, oh, Maddie lives here.
But what about?
They were there a lot.
They were there a lot.
They was always down to party, and was right there by her side.
Any unusual incidents happen that you recall? Anything
over there?
Over there or over here? Anybody have something stolen? Anybody have a window get broken? Vandalism of any kind?
Not this year that I can recall. Last year we had problems with, we had some betas. There's a beta and Delta department over at the Whites. And we had like $4,000 worth of stuff stolen, a couple MacBooks, like MacBook, our Pro Console. His MacBook was stolen because we pinged it over there at their apartment. There's like a $400 charge at Pullman Walmart at like 5 in the morning. But
so somebody stole a laptop, a MacBook here?
Yeah, that was
took it over there.
But yeah, and then we also had guys break in and steal some of our like Huntsman trophies. And I think that was probably more of a freshman thing that the house betas told their you know kids to come steal it, but not anything this year that I'd say is like unusual.
Okay. Was Ethan a religious person?
He never went to church up here.
So this is redacted, and yes, look up the definition for vandal. Go Google it. One who deliberately destroys or damages public or private property. Go Vandals!
Do you ever see anybody around campus that's wearing a large knife?
Mm-mm.
This is wild, y'all.
Have you ever seen anybody with this knife?
No.
Now, again, he's showing a picture of this knife. Listen to the way this guy responds.
Have you ever seen anybody with this knife?
No.
That didn't sound too convincing to me. I wonder this guy's reaction. I wish I could see this on camera. I would love to be able to see his actual reaction, his facial expression. It probably just drained him and he was all white. And then he pauses. He's writing this down. Listen to this.
There was a stalking incident with a pike that happened last year. Actually, I think it was earlier this year, regarding someone at the Whites. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Okay. Any talk? Did you ever hear any girls talking about the stalkers or anything like that?
Not really.
Two of the girls, Xana and Maddie, I think, worked at the Mad Greek. Did they ever talk about working there? If they had problems with anybody at work?
I never talked to them directly. I mean, Ethan would talk about it because he'd get free food. But I never heard Xana when I was around her say anything about that. She seemed to enjoy it because she'd always be smiling when she got back from work.
And there is no proof that anyone was cheating on anyone, okay? We don't buy into the rumors. We don't do that.
Did Ethan have a job at all?
No. Like up here?
Yeah.
No.
What was his major?
I think it was business.
Why don't they know what he was studying? What the heck? Heavily redacted that answer. Wow. Come on. Stop redacting. Spill the beans.
Anything interesting this summer?
Let's hear it.
Did Ethan talk about taking any trips this summer or doing anything interesting this summer that you remember?
No, not that I can think of.
Okay. Do you have plans to take any trips that you know of?
No, I mean, we had our day to sig thing we do with the auctions for Derby Days where we all put on a skit. We were all planning on going to, I mean, that was this winter or next spring. We were going to decide as far as the roads went. But Kappa's bought our gig, and I was with Ethan.
Oh my gosh, come on.
And our date for the thing was a weekend getaway in. So we were gonna go to their place.
Ethan's family has a place.
Yeah, I think they like just built it because the funeral was in for the memorial, but they moved it, and I'm not sure if they're fully moved in yet, but they were talking about like being fully moved. Like,
Are they going to move there full time?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
But they're going to still operate their business.
I don't know. I didn't really talk to Ethan about like the specs of it. I just know that they have a place in.
Okay.
And I mean, they grew up in, but I know that they were talking about it. Ethan said it was just like a super sick spot. So when we were trying to find a date idea, I'm like, why don't we just go to your guys' place?
What house was made?
Theta.
Did Ethan talk about where he wanted to live after he graduated?
No, we never really talked about that. We were trying to live together next year. Me was like, we gotta get on this shit now, blah, blah, blah. We were gonna try to get the old Shark Tank, that blue house over there. The AKLs have it right now, but we were gonna try to get that. But as far as like afterwards, I think he was just gonna do whatever Santa wanted to do.
You think you plan on marrying her?
I don't know if he thought about it as much, but it was just like so easy for them that I think that like he was like, I just don't see myself without Santa. I mean, he wasn't a guy that like openly talked about his feelings a lot, you know, like we would talk about him, but I just think that he realized that like how good Santa was for him and like how well they got along and interacted that he never really like looked elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Rich, what did this?
Just a couple things. One, obviously we can't control what you talk about when we're done here, but we do ask discretion because in a lot of these cases, when we're doing this, when people hear about it, they make assumptions on what we're looking for, which isn't always the case. So just we just kind of ask your discretion when you have this conversation about what we'll talk about later.
Okay, I just have to stop this. How do we know this is true? Does anybody, is there proof in the book? Because I didn't see anything. EC got 2 texts that night claiming he was being cheated on according to the new book. I did not see that. So help me understand where you got that info. I really want to know. Is that just a rumor or is it confirmed? Remember, guys, even when this book comes out, we don't know for a fact until we see the evidence. We're here talking about evidence. Interview is evidence. Footage is evidence. Pictures are evidence. Rumors are rumors. Let's leave them at the door, guys. Please keep it kosher in here. All right? We've got some new members in here, and I appreciate every single one of you here. This is almost the end of this interview with Kyle Frey.
And I mean, it would be better to just not talk about it at all because it may color it may color some of the other brothers' answers to these same questions.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you talk about it with them. So
No, yeah, absolutely. No, anything that'll make your guys' job easier.
And then the last thing is you understand this campus, the heartbeat, this organism, the differences and everything. Is there anything you feel we should be?
So are you telling me that Doggo has a copy of that message that Xana was cheating on Ethan? Do you have a copy of that message? I'm going to show you something when this interview is over with to make you think about this. Hold on one second. Let's finish this.
Be looking at any person we should be looking at, anything you feel we're overlooking, anything you think that can help this investigation.
You know, I really wish there was, but it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, I've been thinking about it, and like, there's like I've always like just felt safe here. Like it's a great place, and I don't know. There's no one that I'm like, oh, fuck, he's sketchy. Or blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just the campus to where, like, yeah, you have your common fraternity beefs and all that, but it's never, like, I have never even heard, like, threats. Like, I've never heard, like, at a fight, someone be, and I haven't been around the fights that have happened, like last year when the snoo got jumped by, or the Dell got jumped by a ton of snoos. I wasn't, but fights that, like, there's never been any, like, threats or anything. Like, it was just such a unproblematic campus. Like, the most we would, like, if we ever had beef, like, we'd be like, oh, let's go egg their house. Or, things like that. But
right.
There's no one that just, like, sticks out, or not anything that I can tell you, like, to go look for, because, I mean, I wish I could, but it just doesn't.
Right. So this is so, I guess, a really obvious question that I'm sure you would have said something if you had saw this, but did you ever observe anybody, like some rando dude walking around over there, or, sitting in his car that was kind of
just at, like, random times when I'd go over there?
Yeah, just go over there and be like, some guy sitting out in his car out there, or some dude out there smoking a cigarette looks kind of sketchy. Or I can tell you, going over there, just driving around a few times over the last couple of weeks, that there are some kind of random people over there, I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem like someone to be worried about. But, like, there was always a dude over by this dumpster straight across where there's that vending machine outside. I mean, he would always be out there smoking a cigarette, but I never got, like, a sketchy vibe, I guess. Like, I never was like, I don't know, because, like, just that area is just, like, it's filled with college kids who are drunk, right? Like, the walk between the Whites and Xana's place, there's that back stairway, like, and we'd always be scared to take that because there'd be cops. But, like, it was so dark, but, like, you just never felt, like, unsafe. So I can't think of anyone that's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go that way because of this person. But there's no one that really stood out, I guess.
Okay.
So, a couple more. But I want to put some context to this question before I ask it so you understand why I'm asking it. Once we do catch a killer, which hopefully we do, the defense is always going to try to point fingers elsewhere, right? So everybody we talk to, we need them to tell us what their alibi was. You ever heard of the term of alibi?
Yeah.
So alibi is basically, we need to know where you were so it couldn't be you. So don't get offended by that question, but understand that's something we've got to get from everybody. So can you just plainly state what your alibi was, where you were when this all occurred that evening?
Yeah, so it was my little brother's parents' weekend over at WSU. Okay. So I took off Friday around, I want to say I got over to Pullman at my brother's place at 2 or 3. Parents were there. My little brother had to take some tests or whatever. But he finally got back, met up with us. So I was in Pullman the entire weekend, and that was at the dorms. And I got back here at around 11 o'clock, and it's actually really sad because I came in here expecting to see Ethan playing video games because he's usually in here. And I was like, oh, he's not in here. So I was like, all right, I'm going to I have a spare bed because I lived in a 6-man last year, and with my 1-man, I just left my bed over the summer. So now, like, I like to put people up because I have my 1-man. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to throw the bed down in here, pillow here, throw a show on, like Lazy Sunday, how they usually were. But I'm like, no, I can't do that. Ethan's going to come play video games soon. And he just never came, and then I was sitting in here, and then came in and told me the news.
At 11 o'clock again, another
one.
one.
And someone said that Ethan and Xana were found unconscious, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I was in Pullman the entire weekend.
Prior to 11 a.m. Sunday.
Prior, yes.
Do you have any issues if we come back and ask you for a DNA sample?
No. I mean, as far as, like, I don't know how DNA all works, but, like, I've obviously partied in that house. So, like, is that a thing that, like...
No. You wouldn't have to worry about it. The DNA sample is just... so, when you do fingerprints, you do what's referred to as elimination fingerprints, right? So, when you have DNA samples or fingerprints, you say, okay, we know this guy couldn't have done it. You're in Pullman all weekend. If your DNA shows up, said, oh, that's his DNA, we don't throw that out.
Oh, okay.
So we're gathering DNA just in case.
Yeah. No, I would be... Would I have to drive back up to Moscow for that?
No.
I wouldn't.
No.
Okay, just as far as roads go.
I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think that's something we're going to ask you for, but we appreciate you being willing to offer it.
But yeah.
That's all I guess.
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a
What color?
silver or
Wow,
blue, depends
silver.
on. It's like a light silver, but it's been called blue. It's up in my parking lot if you'd like. I'm sorry, I would say silver, but I've heard people say
What
blue.
year?
2011 or 12. It was my sister's old high school car. But I would have been in a Chevy Traverse that day because I was.
Oh,
in
a Chevy
church. They dropped me
Traverse?
off.
Really? Holy moly. Interesting.
Okay. Well, we're going to stop the interview at 6:52.
All right. Wow. We got some interesting information out of that video. Wow. What do y'all think of that video? What do y'all think of that interview? Jeez Louise. This is wild. Every little interview, we get some interesting info. I say, Connor, if you're out there, we need to start getting some DELT interviews ASAP to find out if there was. This investigator is asking certain specific questions. This isn't just about victimology. This isn't just about questions like, oh, Ethan. And they didn't ask Ethan about previous friends. They didn't ask him about his sports. They didn't ask him about certain things for obvious reasons. This is more than just victimology. And in my humble opinion, you can ask whatever you want in victimology and still be able to get some answers from people to see how they respond. It's kind of like a trick question, a catch-22. I'm going to ask you some questions, and the way that they ask them could be so obvious to some but not obvious to others that this guy is really good asking these specific questions. So do me one favor. If you could ask any of these frat boys the question, a fireball question, what would you ask them? I mean, seriously, what would you ask them? Delts were known to fight and party favors. They were. And a lot of those people that they partied with were Delts. A lot of those people. So the 25 sample, the author building a 24, there is a 35 page or 34 page sample on Amazon that anybody can go and read. Now, if you have the book, you already probably skimmed through it, read it, and see it. But if you go to Broken Plea on Amazon, there is a factual sample, and that sample gives you the first, I want to say 34, 35 pages. That has been up there since day one when the book was put up on the website, y'all. That's nothing new. But let me tell you, if you placed your order on Barnes & Noble and you got it early this week or last week, like some of us did, then you know that I had it shipped 2 days. And you also know that our haters are out there debunking the book and saying that this guy cheated on his wife and married somebody half his age. Well, if you're very familiar with our culture, there's a lot of older men that are leaving their wives for younger women. It is not unheard of in our culture. Obviously, that is a problem with those two. It is not our problem. And in fact, it was a 34-page sample of the book, prologue, chapter links, everything. And that has been up there for almost 2 weeks, folks. That's when I jumped on it. That's when I started to see if I could get the author on. And I decided not to. Other people moved forward with it. This is the total 34 pages that is up on Amazon. Now, One thing I will say is that there is no proof that Xana was cheating on Ethan. We don't have a screenshot. But I will say this. There was something that I questioned and I dug and I went down the rabbit hole about this car that pulled up. In this vehicle, this black Ford that was said to be pulled up, I don't know for a fact if this is true, but I speculated this. This is speculation only. Either this hanger was left here by the perpetrator or someone who got out of this car, it was dropped on purpose. I don't think hangers are just laying around crime scenes. But if you go back and watch the video that I put out today in regards to the closet and the path of the perpetrator, in the closet in Xana's room is the only place that I saw black hangers like this. Was someone trying to take out their items during this whole cleanup crew session alleged, per the investigators, per the experts, per the people that were going on the stand to testify? Was someone trying to clean their clothes out of Xana's closet? Is that a possibility? Okay. Yes, but wait until they get a read of the book we're reading with Everyone Can View the Book. I agree. The book is very interesting, and that is why I shared with every single member here and my tribe that I requested FOIAs for all of these documents that he had access to. Okay, whether this is a fireball or not, I'm just giving you a little preview of what I saw and what I'm talking about, not what the book is talking about. That is the author who has written this book. With all due respect, I've written books. Some are not in print. They are not out there anymore. But I will say this, as a self-published author, there are certain things he does not have to disclose his sources, but he does tell you a lot of these pages are, in fact, he got to see them. Now, we have to trust, but whatever I can FOIA in regards to this book, I have already asked. And yes, that was known. It was known. It was known. It was known. It's in the documents. Now, let's talk about this, that somebody just said something about it. I have always showed you proof and evidence. And with that, I'm going to show you this ISP document where that was Kaylee's Range Rover in the parking lot of 1122. That was her car. That was never a loaner car. I don't know how these rumors got started, y'all, but we have already debunked this. We have already talked about this. That, in fact, was Kaylee's car. It was not a rental. It had already been confirmed a long, long time ago. But let's go down the rabbit hole one more time. Here is the proof. Here is the actual facts of the case. This vehicle in the driveway was Kaylee's vehicle. It was waiting for plates. It was not a loaner. And how do we know that? She bought the Range Rover right here for $24,423. She put $6,500 in cash and $1,000 on a credit card by her grandmother. She took both of her grandmothers there. There was no conflict at the sale of this vehicle. And the ISP, Gary Tolson, right here, he was the one that did the investigation. Sometime after Kaylee purchased the vehicle that is in the parking lot, the check engine light came on. She called and texted to complain about this. He told her to come back and get a car if her light did not go off. She never got the chance to go back. Never got the opportunity to take it back, check the engine light. The car was explained that the light could come on for any reason, and they were unable to figure this out. But blank forwarded copies of the text messages between he and Kaylee about the problem of the car. The text messages are also placed in Moscow PD. After the murders, Blank contacted and wanted to return the Rover. That is her parents. Later, she contacted them and told her that her husband did not want to return the vehicle. I spoke with the finance manager who confirmed the price of the vehicle, yada, yada, yada. And she put an application. She made $3,200 a month as a blank for blank and been working for them for 5 months at the time. According to Kaylee, this was a first-time buyer. Her credit was good, and she did not have to get a co-signer. Okay? They decided to keep the car, put $1,000 back on grandma's card, and that was it. That was it. Then they found when the car was going to be kept by the family, they took the $1,000, put it back on grandma's credit card. That was it. There was nothing unusual of the sale, and this was the end of it. He tried to sell her an extended warranty. It had a 3-month warranty. Now he's waiting on the Range Rover to be turned up by the family. Then they brought it back to the dealership to work the check engine light problem out. So the family had the vehicle. They still had the check engine light, and the family had to go take it back. That was the original car with the issue with the engine light still on. Okay?